Hi everyone, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to root your strawberry runners now in September. So you have free plants that will explode with growth in spring. Just imagine yourself harvesting baskets of strawberries that you didn't have to spend a dime for. You do have to do this now before your runners get zapped by cold, before your strawberries grow dormant for the winter. I'm Callie Kim, and I've been doing gardening videos on YouTube for over 12 years. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to quickly and easily root your strawberry runners, whether you live in a cold winter climate or in a frost-free area like I do here in Southern California. Now, strawberries are perennials, which means that they will survive the winter and come back next year. And they are very, very cold hardy, down to about 20 degrees. However, once the temperatures drop to about 40 degrees, they actually go dormant. They'll look dead. The leaves will get crispy, change color, get crispy. You can prune them back. However, they're only really productive for about 3 to 4 years. And at that point, you really do need to replace your plants. But a 6-pack at the garden center like this costs anywhere from $5 to $7. So by rooting them now in September, before the weather gets cold, means you won't lose them to frost, and you'll be filling your harvest basket with berries next spring for free. Now, this whole area back in here was completely established from runners that actually just rooted themselves here in my garden bed. So let me show you what a runner is first off. A runner is basically a shoot that comes off the mother plant and then starts to grow another plant kind of in the middle. And you can see here, this one is actually growing roots just here out in the air. It's not even rooted in the ground. So it's a perfect opportunity to root this plant and establish a brand new free plant. Now let me just show you some runners that have already rooted here in this area, just by me doing nothing. So here is a really nice runner coming off from the mother plant, rooted here in the ground, and you can tell it's got a little bit of resistance here, which means it's actually time for me to cut it free from the mother plant so it can be a plant all on its own. So I'm just going to snip it. And here we go, a brand new free plant. Now there's a couple of different ways that you can root your runners. The easiest is if you have an empty spot next to your current strawberry plants, you can just poke it in the ground here. Sometimes it will do it even by itself, but I'm just gonna poke this runner right in the ground. And it's helpful if you put something on top of the runner just to kind of hold it in place. It'll root faster. So I'm just gonna put a little rock there. And in about 2 to 3 weeks, it will have some resistance like this one did here. It'll be ready to snip and be a brand new free plant. But I'm also going to show you another way, in case you don't have space in your garden bed, to make a little propagation station for your strawberry runners. Now over here at the Garden Nook, my strawberry runners are going absolutely crazy. Look at this. From the strawberry plants that are here in the container, there's runners just absolutely everywhere. So I could literally get probably 20 or 30 new plants just from the runners that are coming out of these few plants along the edge. And these strawberries are pretty much done producing for the season. Now, if I was right in the middle of production season, I would definitely be cutting these runners off so all the energy would go into production, not into producing runners. But now that they're done, it's time to propagate them for those free plants. I don't have room here, though, in my garden bed for strawberry plants going everywhere. So what I'm going to do is establish a little propagation station right here by my strawberry plants. So for your easy propagation station, here's what you're going to need. First of all, some strawberry plants that are running. I also like to have a small table that I can sit next to my area where my strawberry runners are. And then you're also going to need some containers with some soil to root your runners in. Now I like to use these 6-packs. They have drainage holes in them so the roots won't get rotted out. I've got 6 of them in a flat here, but you can use yogurt containers or sour cream containers, anything DIY you can find around your house. But the important thing is they need to have holes for drainage. And it's also helpful if you have this tray so that when you're watering them, they can either soak up water from the bottom or have some water to sit in to help them not dry out. First off, we're going to fill this with soil. I'm going to use the Bumper Crop organic potting mix. Lots of good fertilizers in here to help the strawberries really establish roots. And it also has vermiculite, which will really help the strawberry runners not to dry out. So we're just going to fill my 6-packs with soil. Then we'll take them over to the propagation station. And the soil is already a little bit moist, but if yours is super dry, you'll want to pre-moisten the soil before you plant your strawberries. And I just love using the potting bench that camera guy made for me. It's so much fun. All right, so over to the propagation station we go. And this is going to be a lot of fun. So this flat is going to actually give me 36 brand new strawberry plants in the spring that I can actually plant out to other areas of my garden. Next step is to grab my runners that are coming off my strawberry plants and to very carefully disentangle them, because we do have kind of a tangled mess of runners here, and to put them into my seed cells here. Let me just grab one and see if we can untangle these fairly quickly. Here's a good one, and look at this. This is a really nice crown, which will develop some nice roots coming out the end. So what I'm going to do is kind of start in the back of my propagation tray first, work our way towards the front. And I'm just going to stick the runner down here in the soil, just a little bit. You don't have to cover the crown or anything. And then we do need to hold it into place. So a really easy way that I found is just to use a bobby pin. If you don't have a bobby pin, you can use a rock. But a bobby pin for these small cells really does work best, just to stick it down in there. I usually put it right over the runner to hold it in. And there you go, you got your first one rooted. And we're going to go through here and do that to all of these runners until we fill up the entire tray. So we want to pry our bobby pins apart just a little bit, but not too much, because you want them to hold the runners tightly. Let's do one together. Grab our runner, poke the crown, runner down into the soil. Rinse and repeat till my whole tray is filled up. I'm all done pinning my runners into the propagation tray, and this is what it looks like. Now it kind of looks like a tangled mess, but don't worry about it. The reason for that is all these little runners are still attached. Once they establish, and it will take about 2 weeks for them to get established, you're going to cut the runners, and then you'll have something that looks like a really nice 6-pack of transplants. So I have 24 runners established here for free plants. But what I did, because I had so many runners coming out the other side, is I established another propagation station here with 12 more plants. So if you've got runners coming everywhere, you may need to place your propagation station in various places around your raised beds or wherever your runners are. The key is here, you're going to your runners and establishing your propagation station there. Now let's talk about watering. You definitely want to keep your runners moist but not waterlogged while they're rooting. So that's one reason why I have this tray underneath. It does not have holes in it because I want it to hold the water and then soak up water from the bottom to water the runners. So I'm just going to add a couple of inches of water to this tray, not too much though, because it is going to be hard to dump the tray out if all the water doesn't soak up. So I've got a few inches here. We'll wait for it to soak up and then add more if the top of the soil still looks dry. Now the other way to water, which I really love, is to hook up everything on autopilot. I have a Mr. Landscaper micro sprayer hooked here to a timer, so I don't have to worry about forgetting to water. My runners stay nice and hydrated and root really well. It saves me a ton of time and gives me more time to enjoy my garden. So here I have my Mr. Landscaper micro sprayer right in my raised bed. Can get both strawberry propagation trays as well as give my raised bed some water. But here's the beauty of it. With the on-off valve, I can actually control the amount of spray coming out and fully customize my spray. So by rooting your runners here, you're basically saving yourself $5 to $10 a pop by buying a tray of transplants at the nursery next spring. Now after about 2 to 3 weeks, your runners are going to have some roots established. And you'll know the roots are established when you tug on them, like my runner is here, and you get some resistance and it doesn't easily pull out. So at that point, once the roots are established, you can actually clip this runner, and there you go, a brand new free strawberry plant. For those of you in cold winter climates, I didn't forget about you. I'm sure you're wondering, what in the world am I going to do with these strawberry transplants over the winter time? Well, once the weather cools down, like I said, under 40 degrees, your strawberry plants will go dormant. So what you can do to preserve them until the spring is actually to plant them in a container once they're established, and then put them in a sheltered location, up against a wall, in a shed, in your garage. Cover them with a frost blanket if you're leaving them outside, and then once the spring comes, they're going to burst forth with brand new growth, and you'll be able to, at that point, plant them out in your garden. For you southern gardeners in frost-free winters, as soon as they're established, you can actually plant them out in your garden now or put them in a container. They'll go dormant for the winter time, and then they'll burst forth with new growth come spring and produce you tons of strawberries. So now you know exactly what to do, whether you live in a snowy winter climate or here in sunny Southern California or somewhere else in a frost-free zone, to get tons of free strawberries to fill your harvest basket next spring. Let me know, are you going to try this now in September so you can reap the benefits in spring? I'll be reading your comments. And for 14 more vegetables that you can plant now in September, watch this video below. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.